5 biggest energy drainers. So today is an important one because so often we feel depleted, we feel a lack of, or just exhausted. And we can't really pinpoint why. Sometimes we can, right? It's like, oh, I had too much to do. And that's what you would think, right? We go for the obvious. And just like so many psychologists say, you're never upset for the reason that you think you are. This is the same thing. You're never exhausted, drained, or just tired for the reason that you think you are. It is always a defense mechanism. There is always a deeper underlying reason. And today we're addressing the biggest energy drainers so you can bring this to awareness and shift it and move through it in a completely different and more powerful way. So let's dive right in. Okay, energy drainer number 1, overcommitting. And I'm saying this one because this is really the key here when we're feeling drained, is when at some level we're not living in our integrity. And this is a big one. So when we're saying yes to things that we don't actually intend to follow through on, or we're saying yes to things that we are intending to follow through on, and there are just so many that we can't, it kind of has the same effect. And you would think that, especially in the first case, well, if I just say yes to something out of being polite, does it really matter? It shouldn't. But it does, because you're there and you're there cluttering your energetic space, really. And if energy doesn't resonate with you, it's really about the subconscious mind. Because when we're saying yes to things that we don't intend to follow through, we're not living in our integrity. Our words, thoughts, and actions are not aligned. So if you're thinking, I'm not going to do this, you're saying, yes, I am going to do it, and then you don't do it, you're out of alignment. They're not all going the same way. And it's bad because it's not about the other person. What you're actually communicating to yourself, to your subconscious, is, I'm full of crap. And there's that lack of self-trust within you. So when you're saying, yeah, I can totally do that. Yeah, I intend to do that. And you're committing to something that you have no intention of following through, careful with this one. Okay. Which brings me to number 2. What just drains our energy is clutter. So in the first one, I addressed the emotional and the mental clutter when you're saying yes to things and there's just so many and you can't think because there's like, I have this huge to-do list that is never ending. It is the same way for all kinds of clutter. So how is your space looking? Because our physical space is the extension of our energetic space. So if you're there having so much clutter in the house, so much around, your mind will also not be clear. One of the simplest tools that a lot of coaches and teachers recommend is actually when you're starting a new project or you need some clarity in your life, clean a drawer. Just get everything out and clean. And that physical cleaning and clearing and decluttering creates space in your mind. And you can look at things in a different way because you've cleared an energetic aspect of your life. So clutter, careful with this one as well. The digital space is a big one because so many of us have just that email. The inbox has like thousands of emails that nobody looks at. Digital space, physical space, emotional, mental space, okay? Clear what doesn't serve you. Number 3, saying yes when you really want to say no. And this isn't just about what I addressed with the first one of not living in integrity. This goes much deeper. A yes from a person who is unable to say no doesn't really mean anything. It's of absolutely no value. If you're there not being able to set those boundaries, not being clear about what you do want or what you don't want, and you're just saying yes to anything, it doesn't really mean much. Right? The reason I'm addressing this is because this is such a big one, because every single time we're doing things out of obligation or expectation or guilt or fear and we're saying yes, maybe to be liked, maybe it's to be accepted, we're saying no to ourselves. We're saying no to that part of us that feels this is out of alignment, this is not the life I want to live, but I'm saying anyway yes because I want to be nice or I want to be kind or this is the right thing to do. Imagine, I want to make this practical. So imagine you committed to helping somebody move, right? And you said yes out of guilt or obligation. And you're there for, let's say, 5 hours in this place of, God, I don't want to be here. I really don't want to be here. This is the last place I want to be. And I'm just helping you. I'm gonna do the stuff that I have to do, but I mean, I really don't want to be here. Okay. With that attitude, is that helpful? Like, are you a helpful presence in that place? Sure, maybe physically you can move some stuff, but this is nothing compared to somebody who actually wants to be there, who can be so much more productive, not just on an energetic level, but like they would be moving a lot more things when they're excited, when they're there, like, oh my God, I get to help my friend move and they're creating this new space and this is so exciting. It's a completely different space. So when you're saying yes, when you actually want to say no, you're not helping anybody because the person can feel it and you know it and you're having a miserable time, and therefore you're radiating that throughout your day, first of all, but also to other people around you. And this is a huge energy drainer because, again, every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're shutting yourself down. Okay? Which brings me to number 4, not living your light. A huge energy drainer is not doing what lights you up, what excites you. So often we feel drained by these things that we have too many things to do. There's a lot going on. I have this huge to-do list. I have all these responsibilities. It's not about all the things going on. It's that we're not saying yes to what we want. We're not doing enough of the things that light us up. Because you can take on anything if you're excited. Like, I know that when I'm doing the work that I love, I can work for 5 hours and have no idea the 5 hours passed because I'm so freaking excited, right? Think about yourself when you're there with a hobby or with something that you really truly love that lights you up. You can spend hours doing this, right? Time flies when you're having fun. It's not so much about not being able to handle all the to-dos, is that we are so drained and we're so used to saying no to ourselves that when we get to all these things that have to be done, we don't want to do them because we have nothing to give. We're not doing these things from a cup full that, like, oh my God, I'm giving from the overflow. I feel so energized and awesome. Like, let's go. You're giving from, oh God, there's another thing to do. I don't want to do this. Why is this list so huge? And I'm tired. I'm always tired because I'm drained. I'm not doing that which really excites me. So with this one, and I want to emphasize before I move to the next one, the practical action step, how can you say yes to yourself? Do something, like really schedule it, make it a non-negotiable. I want to emphasize this, make it a non-negotiable. Putting yourself first should be a non-negotiable. I don't use shoulds and musts, but this time I will, because if you are not giving from the overflow, you are of no use to anybody. And you may have these fake compliments like, oh, thank you so much. Like, for some reason, I'm thinking of like an elderly parent that, you do something for, and it's kind of like, well, thank you so much. You were so helpful. You are not really helpful. They're happy that you came along or that you helped out. You're not actually radiating that energy of, I really want to be here. I really want to give. I really want to help. And that's not helpful. I have no idea why this example came up. Maybe this will resonate with somebody listening to this. Number 5 is the food that you consume. So your body has a lot to do with this, right? And yes, for example, when we're feeling tired, this is the resistance of the mind. A lot of the times, especially if you set like a goal or a target and you sit down to work at it, you're just going to be magically tired because that's the resistance of the mind. Your body is the extension of your mind. However, your body also needs to be nourished and nurtured and loved. So food is a big drainer. When you're eating junk, when you're consuming things that don't serve you, you're draining your body. Now, here's an important one. I don't want you to go into what is good, what is not good, what are those different diets, because there's so many of them, right? Like, one thing is proven to be good one day and it's proven to be horrible for you the next day. It's not even so much about the food, but rather the connection, first of all, with the body, but also the intention. I mean, you could be eating burgers, but if you're there doing it consciously and blessing it and like, wow, this is really nourishing me and it's replenishing me and I'm really grateful for this, it's going to have a completely different vibration rather than if you're eating a, kale salad and you're thinking about how disgusting it is and how you really don't want to eat it. It's not going to bring you that pleasure and that nourishment that you're looking to receive. So this also is an energy drainer, not just about the food that you consume. And often, look, we have all these belief systems, right? That like kale is good for you, burgers are bad for you. And it's in our subconscious. So when you're consuming, they're really being conscious of how is it that I'm seeing this food, because that is the effect that it's going to have on you. I am bringing in energetics here because, yes, it's about, we can be factual about this, right? But it's also about the subconscious, and the subconscious also creates the energetics. So to recap the 5 main energy drainers, the first one is overcommitting. Second one was clutter. The third one is saying yes when you want to say no. The fourth one was not doing enough of what really lights you up. And number 5, the food that you consume. And actually, number 5, I want to extend this. It's not just the food, it's also the music, the movies, anything that's coming into your environment. What is it that you're consuming? What are you feeding your body, your subconscious mind, your emotional and your spiritual selves? What are you letting in? Being really conscious of that, because that can subconsciously drain your energy. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Which one resonated the most, or which one is it that you're consciously choosing to shift and to transform? Maybe there was one that was subconscious and you're like, oh my God, yes, I'm totally doing that. So let me know what that is. And if you know somebody that absolutely needs to hear this, definitely share this video with them, because the more people start living in their power, start shifting and bringing these things to awareness and giving from the overflow, the better the world's gonna be. Because if we're all there, like I'm living my best life and I'm having the best day, I want to give more. So make sure to share, make sure to like, so that this can really help out the algorithm and spread this to more people. And on this note, I am wishing you such a powerful day.